My, such a mess. Ooh. Alright. As you can see, there is no cockpit, almost no cockpit anymore. My phone had to charge, and while it charged, I basically ground away, no, not really ground away, but cut away the entire cockpit. Almost. There's some small bits left, but over there is the a valve, and I don't know yet what to do with it. This is pretty weird. I don't know what it is actually. My suspicion is that it is basically a foundation for a table or something, but I'm not really sure. It is not like structurally connected to the ship, so I don't know. So next up would be all those tiny bits to bring them into a garbage bag, and then cut away the bulkhead in front of the ship. Oh, okay. Despite of the much more powerful angle grinder over there, who has basically no problem cutting through the glass fiber reinforced plastic, it was quite hard to get rid of all those stiffener sections and war sections, and wow, I can't take it any longer. I'm done for today. It's pretty impressive though. As you can see, almost everything is gone. This one over here, and at the bow is something that needs to go too, but whew, I'm not going to laminate this portion here new for today. I do this another day, because before I do this I need to really clean the inside of the boat, and wow, this is much work. Okay, some trivia. You see this really nasty black water, basically this section over here from basically from here to over there and to there and to there was covered, completely covered, and had no like stuck, sorry, and had no access whatsoever. So I suggest that for maximum for the last 40 years no one looked into that compartment, and I was pretty happy to have a gas mask then, because it reeks kind of nasty. Yeah, so I think this is everything for today. I will clean a little bit up around the mess here, and yeah, we're pretty much near the finish line. So much space. Wow, it's a pretty large boat actually. Alright, next day at the boat. I already unwrapped her, and what I want to do now is basically get rid of the last standing sections here and grind down the remainders like here, so that it is plain with the hull. And then I clean the hull with just fresh water. Alright, as you can see, I did away with most of the residual sandwich bulkheads, not really bulkheads, those traverse thingies. Except over there's still some left, but the rain has stopped for today, and the forecast tells no rain until like in 2 days or something like that. So I need basically every hour to for the new GRP to cure through. So what I do next, although I did not really finish all the rest of the GRP, I like to grind away this foul thing over there, and start laying the new GRP. This heart-shaped thing is just a sign how much my boat loves me. Alright, I will bring my some acetone to clean everything from dust, and the fiberglass and some epoxy resin. I cleaned the surface with acetone, and when the acetone is completely evaporated, I will start preparing the resin. I have a special resin here. It's RECUT Azure VT. It's basically a polyester resin with a special hardener who has a colored indicator in it, which is pretty cool, because then you see immediately when you have to stop to add hardener. I do not want to prepare it in this kind of bucket. I want to use this very cheap like camping picnic cutlery and spoon set, and here is my glass fiber. It's also from RECUT. Yeah, and I prepared it on this beeswax paper, because the fiber mattress and the not already hardened resin will not adhere to it. Hopefully. Let's see how it pans out. Alright. It may not seem very much, but I built up like 5 layers of GRP, which is a little bit more than the original GRP, because I will sand it down a little bit when the process of hardening is finished. You see that the surface is a bit shimmering and it's not yet started to harden properly. Tomorrow it will be basically finished. I hope though, because it started to rain again, that not too much water is getting in, but after like 20 minutes to 1 hour, it shouldn't be that of an issue. We will see. I mean, it was really easy to do and fun. The indicator works quite good. It changes from like a bluish to a greenish color, as you can see here. Probably it's kind of greenish. And yeah, I'm pretty interested how it looks tomorrow, and maybe it's not pretty, but it's my first GRP job. So this will be all for today. Bye bye. Alright, it's the next day, and the new lamination looks quite good, or sounds quite good. Excellent. Alright, I was largely occupied by removing garbage and cleaning up a little bit. So this will be all for today, because I ran out of garbage bags. But I'm pretty sure that this might be the last garbage bags. Not forever, but for a long time. So what I want to do now is basically wrap the pearl up again for the night and return tomorrow. Oh, it's so cold again, and it's so late, and I have beautiful timber, basically more or less right from the sawmill. I bought it at a local timber store. This is for carpentry use, and it is basically Scots pine. Here in Europe it's called Nordische Kiefer, but it's basically the same. It belongs, in my opinion, to this, at least in my research, this very preliminary research into trees, it is the same family. And yeah, let's open up the pearl first and see how she did over the weekend. Because the large inverter is down, I bought a new one and apparently it's working pretty fine. It's just a small one, and I decided to have a small one because I could just bring it with me and don't store it here where it's maybe too moist or I don't know. So this is really convenient, and I will connect now my battery charger and see how it's working. Okay, I have sawn 2 planks and 1 traverse girder. It's kind of preliminary. I just sawed it roughly into shape. I think I have some grinding still to do on the house so that it is basically plain. The problem is now that it's getting dark quite quickly, so I will continue tomorrow, and what I will do is basically grind down the rest of the GRP here and start to sand down the edges on the planks, and then oil the planks because they're pretty awesome now, but will be much more awesome when it's completely finished. Alright, I'm back. I arrived later than I thought because I had a flat tire on the way here, but it is still a very beautiful evening, and I have already uncovered the transom. And what I want to do today is, because all the wood pieces are basically loosely fit, I want to grind away the rest of the resins and GRP here, at least the inner one, because I think I can use this like, it's not really a dent, it's like where the original plywood was basically in, not really molded, but glued onto the transom. So I think if I remove this here, it would be enough to put the new timber basically behind this one. Oops, that was not supposed to happen. I think I accidentally removed basically kind of the lamination for the transom, but it's alright because the GRP here is perfectly good. It's just a little bit dirty. You can see the kind of a greenish protection layer on it. It's basically cool. So I will just continue as nothing would happen. That's a bummer. I take this as a sign to leave it for now. I basically wanted to, whoops, it's kind of dark, wanted to fit the last plank here, this piece, and by sewing basically the curvature, this happened, and now I'm out of options. I can't find a new one, so I think I have them at home or something, I don't know. Anyways, I sewed some girders and the beam shelf, and the same for the starboard side, and a kind of a extra plank for holding the engine later. It's fun, and let's continue tomorrow. Alright, another day. You kind of missed one day because I forgot to bring my camera again, so we basically missed how I sanded the wood, the timber, and treated it with oil. And just for comparison, this is the planking. It's a bit dirty, but it's alright. It's basically out and around since last 2 days ago, and it's basically withstanded the rain that was yesterday quite good. As a comparison, right next to it is an untreated piece of timber, and you can see a little bit of a color difference there, and it feels kind of wet, whereas this feels just like it's like greasy, a little bit greasy, but this is perfect. I think it worked pretty good. So what I will do now is basically place it into the transom. But first I need to really thoroughly clean it with acetone. Alright, the GRP is now cleaned, not really thoroughly. There's some dirt adhering here and there, but it's not so much. And when the water is basically evaporated away with the acetone, it will be a good surface to adhere to it. And what should adhere to it is over here. I bought kind of a special marine adhesive, which they say, the company say it will be alright for caulking, basically on a chemical way. This is a polyurethane based product, and when it finishes, it basically will seal off the seams over here, and also basically provide a little bit of adhesive, like a little bit. Again, this is quite tremendous, but it won't be replaced. Oops, hold. Okay, let's do this with the first piece of timber, which is basically the kind of an oversized frame, because this is where basically the screws for the bolts for the oh, see, there's a little bit of water on it, but it dribbled away. Funny, here too you see there's small, don't see it now, this is a small water bubble. It's not going into the wood, it stays on the surface. That's what it meant to be. So this is where the screws and the bolts for the motor mount will go through. So it will need a larger area to distribute the forces. Ta-da! Okay, admittedly it looks kinda ugly at the moment, because I basically caulked every seam and every screw hole with this polyurethane compound, and it will be hardened through until tomorrow, and then I will sand it down so all those like dirty black things will be gone by then, and what should be left over is a tight seam which is basically watertight and should let no water through it. I did not attach any bolts through that timber yet, but this will be basically the next step to do. Alright, I prepared everything for tomorrow, but okay, by me everything, I got away with most of the tools. There are some garbage bags over there still, but half of the garbage bags I had packed on my trailer. I wrapped her up again because I don't really know if it will rain tonight or not. My box, oh, you can't see my box to get in here. My box is over there. Now you see it. Waiting for the sun to charge, and tomorrow I will return and prepare the pearl for the lunch procedure, which will be commencing in 2 days. 2 weeks ago I put the pearl back into the water. Since then there were some winds and murky weather, and therefore my cover looks kind of ripped. I think there should be some water inside, but it's not so severe. Alright, logically some water found its way inside the hull. It's not that much, just a little bit over here, but one of the seams on the cockpit, on the transom, is basically leaking. So a little bit of water is in the transom section, but it's not very severe.
Okay, basically every wave puts a little bit of water inside my transom section, but it's really not that much compared with the amounts of water I have to pump out regularly out of the boat. It's just half a bucket. So what I want to do next is tidy up a little bit, because, well, there's so much garbage I can't think straight. So first those ripped garbage bags have to go. Maybe I will pack them up in a different manner, I don't know. Right, that's much better. I have enough place to put my feet somewhere. Awesome. Okay. Next thing, because my cover is swirling around like nothing, I want to fix it a little bit better to the frame with some small. Where I have it? Oh no. The chaos. Somewhere over there is some small line. Those small lines. Perfect. Alright, I corked the seams that were leaking with lots of Sikaflex. For now there is just a minute amount of water dribbling in, so I have no concern about that at the moment. And I have pretty much started to gain the upper hand on the chaos. But my trailer is full of trash right now, so I have to go home. And next day, or the day I will return, I think it's on to sew the in wales and the out wales. Those both pieces of wood that will basically provide structural reinforcement, and the first thing on the hull. I mean, I started to construct the hull already, but the first thing on the deck will be those two pieces of timber. That will be that for next day. Goodbye. Alright, the cover seems to be more stable for this time. As you can see or hear, there's the wave slamming through the transom, and you see where the water is coming from that's dribbling into the transom section. So it's above the waterline, so I have no concern, but I need to address it, especially when I want to mount the motor later. Much later, to be honest. Bye bye!